Welcome back to Axis and Allies, the anniversary edition. Up this episode, yes, we are looking at Japan. And they start off with 3 full aircraft carriers, 9 aircraft, not a heck of a lot of infantry, and very few IPCs, Industrial Production Certificate units. They only start with 17, which doesn't sound like much, but we're going to put a big push on for Japan. This is the setup here. And we're going to see what they're up to. So with 17, let's figure out first what they're going to produce for the end of their turn. So let me figure that out, and we'll see what they want to build for the end of this turn. Alright, so what we're going to do for Japan, they're going to get 1 transport, 2 infantry, and 1 artillery, and that spends all of their 17. Alright, they're very expansionist, so let's go ahead and see how much they can expand and how much damage they can do on this turn. Alright, so as you can see, Japan has a lot of concentrated aircraft carrier. They got a battleship here, a cruiser. They actually have 2 loaded transports here. One's got a infantry and artillery, and one's got 2 infantry. They have a Formosa, they have a fighter plane, they got 3. The big deal over here is the 2 loaded aircraft carriers, the Akagi and the, I forget the other one. But anyway, they're over here fully loaded. And as you can see, Battleship Row here at the Hawaiian Islands. We got the U.S. battleship. And of course, the U.S. aircraft carriers were not in Pearl Harbor when the attack happened on that horrible day. So their aircraft carrier is down here, out on the sea zone, where Japan basically can't really get at them very easily. Alright, I'm going to be doing all the combat strategic moves, or the combat moves for Japan, so let's get doing that. Alright, first up we're going to unload our aircraft carriers. The one here at Midway is going to send 2 fighter planes right here to San Francisco Bay. We got a destroyer, an American transport. The other 2 are going to fly right here, whoops, as I knocked the guy off Iwo Jima, to the Hawaiian Islands, do the typical Pearl Harbor thing, and we will take the 1 destroyer here over to help. So, and this airplane is on the Hawaiian Islands. It's not air cover for the Hawaiian Islands. So we're going to have 2 fighters and a destroyer taking on the battleship. And I need to put, so these each go 1 space, so they have a fly, they'll be able to fly 3 spaces after the attack. So let me get that set up too. And I think I'm going to use some mini dice for this. I have those little tokens, but I find them a little fiddly. So these airplanes will be able to fly 3 after they are finished. Okay, that's going to take care of the 2 aircraft carriers. Now, in the non-combat move, the aircraft carriers can move at 2 spaces, or they can stay where they are. We will probably be moving these aircraft carriers in the non-combat phase, so keep that in mind. Alright, we've got lots more to do for Japan. We do some thinking, and we're going to do a whole bunch more combat actions. Alright, we're going to take the Japanese battleship, and we're going to move it right here to the Philippines, taking on a cruiser and a transport. I think that's going to be it. Battleships hit on a 4, cruisers hit on a 2. Battleships take 2 hits to sink. So I think we're okay just going in with a battleship there. I think we're good to go. And oh man, so much more to do. Alright, it is actually a combat move to take over, say, Borneo or East Indies, because we're taking them over. So from the Carolina Islands, we're going to take 1 of these transports, and it's going to load up 2 infantry, and it's going to move 1, 2 through New Guinea. Actually, no, once you unload, you can't move anymore. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That is actually considered a combat move because we are taking over. Oh man, I'm going to knock everything around. We're taking over Borneo. And that is going to give Japan a leg up there for industrial production. So that's going to be Japan up 4. So they're going from 17 up to 21 production, knocking the UK down 4. UK is currently at 43. They're going to go down to 39. Okay, oh boy, lots more to do. Okay, the Japanese have their eye on the Russians. They are going to ferry over a armored unit and an infantry right across here. So this, I'm going to turn this kind of upside down so that I remember we used it to do an amphibious assault. We're going to take one of these guys from here. Actually, we're going to take 2 from Manchuria. So we get 3 infantry, an armored unit, and we're going to fly this plane from the mainland 1-2 in here as well. And I think that's going to be it. So that plane went 2, so it's going to have a return or a flight ability of 2. Okay, what else are we up to? Let me think. All right, this first turn of Japan is always very tricky because you want to just scoop up the absolute maximum of everything that you can. So, and I do believe we can pick up the Carolinas, move here, pick up the unit at Okinawa, and land here and dump it off at Tung. I believe you can chain that together. I'm going to double check the rules because I think I want to do that if we can. Alright, yes, it is doable. We can pick up this infantry here at the Carolina Islands. We can move to Okinawa. We can pick up this infantry from Okinawa. And then we can move here. And we can dump off our 2 infantry at Tung right here, which is British controlled at the moment. And then we're going to take the Formosa plane flying 1-2 in here to help with that attack. Yes. Okay, and that's another plane then that has a range of 2 after the attacks are done. Okay, there's still more going on. We still have 2 planes. We've got loaded units here that we can move to offload. Let me do a little more thinking. Japan's not finished yet. Alright, it's all about land grabbing. We are going to use 2, 3, 4. What are we going to do? We are going to take 2 infantry here and shuffle them into Burma, I believe. And then we are going to take the cruiser here, and it's going to go 1, 2 into Sea Zone 37. We're going to use an offshore with that. And we are also then going to take these 2 infantry units, and they are going to go 1, 2 in here. Oh, and they will unload these 2 infantry here. So now we have a total of 4 infantry. And we are not finished yet because then we are going to you know what, I'm gonna rearrange things a little bit. We still got some more. We still got 2 planes on the carrier I want to use. So let's figure out what we're doing here. I think Japan might be the trickiest one to start out with. We still have a plane. Oh, we have a plane sitting here we've not used. Because I did want to use it to go 1 here. We're going to take 1, 2 units in here. Yes, we're going to do that. And then we are going to take 1 unit in here, and we are going to fly. Okay, this plane has a return of 3. I don't want to get this mixed up. Return of 3, and the 2 planes off the aircraft carrier. Oh, has a hard to pick up these little slippery guys. Come on, there we go. And they are going to fly into here. 1. Actually, 1. They're going to go 1 here and 1 here. This might be a little risky, but we'll see. So this one, aircraft carrier, 1, 2. So this one can return 2 if it wants. And this one only flew 1. It has a return of a 3. Now, the aircraft carriers haven't moved. We still have these guys. I got to figure out exactly what I want to do with them. Yes, because we have nothing in here, we are going to take this transport, and it is going to be, I'm going to put it sideways, it's going to be dumping off the infantry and the artillery in here. Alright, I do believe that's all the exciting things we are doing with Japan. So now there's going to be a lot of dice rolling. Let me get that organized. Alright, let's start off in Burma right here. We do have an offshore bombardment with the cruiser because we have an amphibious assault. If you don't have an amphibious assault, you can't use the offshore bombardment, but we can. So the Japanese cruiser hits on a 3, and it gets a hit. So we don't even need to roll anything else. The 1 unit here is destroyed. And we have 4 infantry. So let's see, we got 1 hit. And we're going to do the 4 infantry because we can, and none of them hit. So that's okay. So the offshore pounded the UK troops in Burma. They're gone. They do get the retaliation though, and they hit on a 1 or 2. And of course, they hit. The Allies hit. And I'm using the wrong dice, but that's okay. Not going to worry about it. We use red for Japanese. Okay, so Burma has been captured by the Japanese. Oh, and that is going... Oh, and they have to lose a troop, of course. Let's not forget that. That's easily done. So Japan has now captured Burma, and that's 2 more Imperial units to build. Yeah, so they're going to go from 21 to 23, and the UK goes from 39 down to 37. They're pounding away on the UK's capacity. All right, we got lots more battles to go. All right, we got some sea zone action going on up here, so let's do that one. We have the 2 aircraft are attacking a destroyer and a transport. And the fighters hit on a 3+, and yes, I'm using Ren for Japan. I thought I was not going to. 2 and 1. So the destroyer is destroyed, which means the transport's just going to hang out in the wind and be destroyed as well. However, the destroyer does get retaliatory fire. Hits on a 2. Did the Allies ever miss? Ever? I mean, ever. Did they ever miss? Of course not. So Japanese lose a very vital fighter plane off their carrier, but they do sink the destroyer, the U.S. destroyer, and because the transport has nothing it can do, it just it gets annihilated as well. All right, let's do Pearl Harbor, which is right here. We have 2 aircraft and a destroyer attacking the 1 battleship. All right, 2 aircraft hitting on a 3+. Get 1 hit, so the battleship is damaged. And the destroyer hits on a 2, does not hit. Now the battleship retaliates with a 4+, and gets a 4. So, yeah, we're gonna lose the Japanese destroyer. Now the battleship's just damaged; it's not destroyed. We're gonna keep going with the aircraft, hitting on 3+. And oh yeah, oh boy, battleship row is taking a pounding. That battleship is gone, but it does get its return fire. And it does take out 1 of the aircraft. Oh boy, Japanese lost 2 aircraft this time. That's a little problematic. However, they did take out, they basically cleaned up the area as far as the American naval units. We've got lots more to go. Continuing to pound on the naval units, we have a battleship. We have Yamato, perhaps, pounding on a destroyer there, hitting on a 4+. Gets a 2, so yeah, it absolutely blows up the destroyer. So the American destroyer is gone. It does get a retaliation, which is not going to matter because it does hit, but it just damages the battleship. Transports can't fight, so the battleship just blows up the transport as well. Gone. And at the end of the turn, I will write the battleship because they get repaired. So cool, that's the nice thing about battleships. They cost a ton, but they take 2 hits to destroy, and at the end of your turn, they just are repaired. Away they go. All right, onto the mainland we go. All right, let's see how the Japanese do against the Russians. So we have, for the Japanese, 1, 2, 3 infantry. They hit on a 1, which is not really great. They get no hits with infantry. They do have an armored unit hitting on a 3, which of course doesn't hit. And oh, and the airplane hits on a 3 as well. Fighter. Oh man, it's 0 hits for Japan. Well, that's not looking good because now we use the black dice for the Russian troops. They hit on a 2, so there's 1 hit. The Russian troops are going to lose 1 of the Japanese. Do they want to press their luck? Yeah, they're going to press it 1 more time. So 2 infantry at 1. No hits. Why am I using black? I don't know. And 2 at 3. It doesn't really matter. Oh man, absolute whiff again. All right, we'll stay with the black dice. The retaliation for the Russians again, hitting on 2s. Nothing. Nothing for nothing. Pressing the attack. All right, let's use red for Japan this time. Okay, 2 infantry hitting on a 1. Ooh, there we go. That's 1 Russian casualty. And 2 at 3. And another 1. Okay, they finally do something against the Russians. Russians still have 4 infantry hitting at 2, though. And they get 2 hits. Ooh. Japanese take 2 hits. The Russians take 2 hits. Now, the Japanese want to... Oh, they can't even back off because they're doing an amphibious assault. All right, we'll continue on then. Let's keep going. And so, the Japanese have 2 at 3. And they get double 6s, which is absolutely useless. All right, and the Russians are putting up a big defense. They get a 1 for defense. So you know what? We're going to lose the armored unit, and we're going to break off the attack. Damn it! Well, that was horrible. That was absolutely not what we wanted to see for the Japanese. All right, heading a little bit further south. All right, farther south we have 1 plane and 2 infantry attacking China. Can we see that? Oh yeah, no problem. All right, 2 infantry at 1, no hits. And the plane at 3, no hits. The Chinese defending at 2, nothing. All right, let's try that again. All right, 2 infantry for the Japanese. I know, lots of dice rolling. That's what this game is. There's 1 hit, and that takes out the Chinese. And the plane, the plane also hits. And the Japanese defense, nothing. All right, sorry, the Chinese defense, nothing. So there we go. That is another conquered space. Now, this is going to come off the U.S. Thing here, the U.S. IPCs. So Japan has another conquered space. They go from 23 to 24, and the U.S. this time goes from 40 down to 39. Okay, more to go. All right, we have 3 more battles to do here. Wow, the Japanese are really smoking. Oh man, okay. Yeah, that can move after. This is going to be a long episode. I figured Japan would be pretty long. All right, let's do this one here. We've got 1 Japanese infantry hitting on a 1, misses, and we have the aircraft hitting on a 2. All right, so that Chinese infantry has been eliminated, but it gets its retaliation, of course, on a 2 or less, and it hits with a 2. So we can either lose the aircraft, oh, that's pricey, or we can not. You know what? We're going to lose the infantry, and we're going to keep the airplane. So we're not going to grab that IPC, but we've eliminated the Japanese troop there. Is that what we want? Yeah, that's what we want to do. We don't want to... The aircraft are 10. It's very expensive. All right, 2 more battles to go. All right, 2 more battles to go. We have going on right here, and I don't want to say that because I'm not sure how you say it. We have now the Japanese have an infantry and an artillery, so they hit on 2s. They've got 1 hit. Okay, that's all we needed. And they also had an aircraft. Hits on a 3, which missed. All right, we took out the Chinese there, but they do retaliate at 2 or less, and they do not retaliate this time. And so that's a clean up for the Japanese there, and that's for the aircraft. And so this time the US is going to drop another 1, and the Japanese will go up another 1. So let me get that going. 24 to 25 for the Japanese, Americans 39 to 38. All right, we have 1 battle remaining. And the final battle is right here at Quangtung. We got 1 UK resistance. We have 2 infantry and an aircraft. Zeros coming in, fighting the British. And so let's see, 2 infantry hitting at 1, no hits. And the aircraft at 3, no hits. All right, can the British hold them off? They can. So we'll lose 1 Japanese infantry. Yeah, we'll press the attack. And they have to. A 2 misses, and the airplane is a 1. Takes out the British soldier. Out of here. Do they retaliate? No, they do not. So that's another successful land grab by the Japanese. And that's going to be 1 off the UK and 1 up for Japan. All right, oh my God, let me get the tokens out of a little box here. Let's get things organized. All right, UK goes down 137 to 36. Japan goes up from 25 to 26. And I think that's the end of all the attacks. And now we got to fly all the airplane We have to move all our aircraft carriers and then fly all the airplanes where we want them. Alright, it's aircraft carrier movement time. We are going to move this aircraft carrier 1-2 to the Carolina Islands. And then we are going to take this aircraft, which has a movement now of 3 left, and it is going to go 1, 2, 3, landing on the aircraft carrier. Okay, that's all good, and now I gotta figure out, this one can't quite make it to the carrier, which is problematic. 1, 2, so this one will just land right here in Thailand. So that's where that's going to land, and plenty of space to get there. This one has a movement of 3, 2, 3. It will go, where are we going to land this one? 1, 2. We'll also land that one in Thailand. There, so we got our aircraft kind of sitting there ready to go. And 2 more aircraft carriers to move. I got to think about where I'm putting them. Okay, we're going to split up our carrier group a little bit. This one's going to go to Iwo Jima. And this one is going to go 1, 2 to Japan. Now we have a 2, oh no, this one, hang on. Where were they at? Midway? 1, 2, or 1, 2. Okinawa? Does that even do anything for us? I don't, yes, we'll put it to, no, hang on, I gotta think about this. No, we're gonna put this back to the Japanese mainland. Alright, we have a fighter here that can move 3. So this one will go 1, 2, 3 and land on that carrier group. This one can only go 2, and it's going to land on Indochina, Thailand. And I think everybody has now moved. The battleship is going to right itself. The transports will right themselves. Cruiser. And all of these things have been used. Got a couple transports there. And with all of that said, oh, we still have one more fighter here going 2. So yes, 1, 2. Let me get this set up. Yes, I forgot one of the Japanese aircraft was right here. It has a 3 movement, 1, 2, 3, landing on the carrier in the harbor, Tokyo Harbor. All right, that's, I believe, everything for Japan. So they scooped a bunch of IPCs. They basically scooped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Not a lot. So they're sitting at 26 IPCs. And so for the ending off for Japan, we will be putting their units down on the board. Now they do have an industrial complex. They can put 8 units down on Japan. They will be putting down 1 transport that they built, and 2 infantry, and 1 artillery. So now on the mainland they have 2, 4, 5 infantry, a couple of artillery, loaded aircraft carrier. Well, their aircraft carrier, they lost a bunch of aircraft this time. That was pretty bad. They lost, actually, or did they? Well, they lost 1 aircraft. Okay, it's not terrible. All right, we're going to zoom the camera out. That is the end. They're going to be collecting their 26 IPCs for their next turn. And we'll wrap it up here in a minute. Alright, well that's going to wrap up our episode for today. That was Japan. They actually lost 2 aircraft. They lost quite a bit of stuff, to be honest. But I think they completed their objectives. They basically smoked out a lot of the U.S. Navy, for sure. Alright. Am I a master strategist? Absolutely not. If you've watched my channel for a long time, you know don't even go there. There are masterclass people that play this game, that know what they're doing. I play it for fun. I'm having fun. So if you see me make kind of a bonehead move strategically, I apologize. I'm probably rubbing you the wrong way, especially if you're an Axis and Allies expert, which I am not. I play it for fun. I try to figure things out, but as you can see, sometimes the dice just hose you, and your best laid strategy can be just annihilated by poor dice rolls, and vice versa. You can have a garbage strategy and just roll like a maniac and just annihilate everything as well. So I don't know, there's a luck factor in this game, but it's just so cool. It's so much fun. Thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. This is the anniversary edition of Axis and Allies. I really like this version. It's got a nice big map. I have the 1942 version, so that's why you see so many extra pieces on the board. Looks cooler with a bunch of extra pieces, in my opinion. Much more fiddly, of course, because you knock things over. But that's why I have so many extra pieces. You don't get quite that many in the Anniversary Edition, but you get enough, and you get a bunch of chips to put underneath units if you need to. All right, enough talking for me. Tomorrow, we're going to pick it up with the UK going, and we'll see what they're up to. So thanks so much for watching along, everyone. I appreciate it. Helps out my channel, and I will see you tomorrow for the UK.